It's currently 9 degrees right now. Behind me, in my winter chicken coop, it's much warmer than that, and my chickens are thriving. They're the healthiest that they've ever been in the winter months because of this coop I built behind me for the winter. And yesterday, I gathered a whole bunch of eggs for me and my family to enjoy. On this channel, I talk a lot about growing your own food and being sustainable on a small scale homesteading basis. I live in a northern climate that regularly goes to -degree temperatures, and that's Fahrenheit, by the way. This chicken coop that I've built behind me is the best money I've ever spent here on the homestead. And today, you're getting the full tour. Before we go inside, let me just explain the dimensions and kind of the build process and the idea behind everything. It's 12 feet wide, and I'm using cattle panel trellises to help support the top. This is more of a greenhouse than a coop, but I turned it into a chicken coop to benefit the chickens. From the front of the coop to the back, it's 32 feet long, so it's about 384 square feet. The last few winters have been pretty brutal. I've had chickens with frosty combs on top. They sit in their coop and they don't want to come out because they're grumpy with all the snow on the ground. The wind is howling. The egg production has gone way down, and to me, that's just not allowing the chickens to live to the best of their ability. And then on the sides over here, you've got 3-foot sidewalls. That allows a lot more headroom in the middle. So you've got a lot of space when you walk inside. Having the sidewalls 3 feet high over here allows me to put metal roofing along the sides. Metal roofing is often 3 feet wide, so I laid out the metal roof panels on their sides and went all the way down the side of the coop. Why I did that is because, as you can see, a lot of the snow is going to go up against the side of the coop, and I don't want that pushing against the greenhouse plastic and getting inside the coop. Let's go inside and check it out. Here we are. So this first part of the coop is what I like to call my chicken office. And this was the best idea that I had when I was building this chicken greenhouse. It gives me an opportunity to have space where the chickens cannot go. In other words, the chickens are not pooping on their food storage. They leave me alone when I walk in if I have to mix their feed. If I have to organize and keep their gear here, I don't want any of that stuff being full of chicken manure. I don't need chickens laying eggs on it. It's a really nice little area that separates the chickens from the materials we need to take care of them. So as you first enter, you've got this little chicken office area. They're very excited, as you can see in there. They're very vocal, very noisy. I have 30 egg-laying heritage breed chickens in here. To my left is where I store their feed in these big 55-gallon barrels. I've got extra containers that I keep some of their grain in before I mix it. Their feed that I actively feed them every single day is in this container right here. Then I've got some storage underneath, some fake eggs. Of course, you need a pitchfork and a metal rake to move things around, a shovel. This is the basket that we keep their eggs in, or we collect their eggs in, I should say. Over here, I've got a light switch that I flip on. A lot of times when I get home from work or I'm busy that day and I don't get out here until nighttime, I need some lights to see in here. And instead of holding a flashlight or putting a headlight on, it's really nice to flip a switch, keep my hands free, and be able to do what I need to do during the dark winter months. Then I can just flip the switch, the lights go off. Let's go in and check out what we've got going here. I do have their water right next to the door, so I don't have to walk in to give them water each morning. And since we're in a greenhouse, it is a lot warmer in here than it is outside. It's also much more comfortable because we're out of the wind. Down on the bottom here, I've got 10 to 12 inches of wood chips. And I keep adding more and more as the season goes on. This is their trough feeders that I hang from wire up against the cattle panels right here. With 30 chickens, I found that 2 of these are necessary, and I fill them both up each day. To support the middle, I just simply have 2x4s that go across from the door frame up to this post, up to the next post, and then across over to the back door over there. That back door is not being used. That's gonna be a clean out door in the spring. So I kind of just close that off for now. You'll notice I've got some Edison lights. These are extra lights that I had. I wasn't using them, so I decided to put them in here. Again, that's because I come in here at night, I need to do things. I may need to collect eggs over there, give them some feed, do whatever. And it's just nice to be able to see this entire thing and light up the entire greenhouse when it's necessary. For the roosts, I just put down these boards right here. A lot of times I find that chickens in a situation like this don't even use those roosts at night like you think they would. A lot of times I just see them like in the corner, cuddled up over there for the night. They use this a lot more during the day actually than they do during the night. To keep things simple and easy to clean out, I built this simple nesting box area over here, which a couple of the chickens are using. Notice there's only 3 5-gallon buckets, and I find that with 30 chickens, they just take time. One of them goes in, one of them comes out. They just take time as they lay eggs throughout the day. I thought that 3 might not be enough, but it turns out it's plenty. And these are big chickens, big heritage breed chickens that are cold friendly, winter hardy, and they easily fit inside and they lay eggs. I put down some wood chips in each bucket, and they seem to do just fine laying eggs in these 5-gallon buckets. It's a nice way to keep it clean too, because I can just remove this bucket, dump out the mess, put the bucket back, and put more wood chips in there if it happens to get dirty. Now, I'll be real honest, it does feel a little dark in here today, and that's because we received some snow yesterday. All I do when it snows is I go like this, and the snow just falls off the sides and it lets in a lot of light. It's pretty easy. If I go around the entire coop doing that, all the snow just sheds off the side. If we get more than 1 inch of snow, only 1 inch will stay on. Sometimes not even. It's more like a 1/2 inch that falls off the side. One of the smartest things I put on this coop is a bungee strap right here. It's a simple way to make sure that this door always stays shut. Because if you open it and walk out, you may forget that it's open, and you can purchase a spring you can put up here, but a cheap bungee strap works just fine. So if I open this door, it's going to automatically close with that bungee strap. Here we are back in our little area. It's really nice. The chickens stay there. The humans do things over here. The mess is over there. Everything is in that direction. And this is just a nice area where you can come and organize and do things. It makes the whole experience much more enjoyable. I have 1/2 inch hardware cloth that is 3 feet. So above the sidewalls that are 3 feet, you've got 1/2 inch hardware cloth that goes up here and runs all the way down the side of the coop. That's good for predators, but it's also good for the chickens if they fly up and hit this. You don't want them to hit the plastic. And again, you go like that, the snow starts to fall off. You can see here is where I tapped on the inside and the snow fell off. And that's where I have not tapped so it stays on. That's 6 mil greenhouse plastic. So it's pretty thick, it's pretty durable. We covered the entire thing with it, front and back and sides. It's just one big piece of plastic. The snow falls off pretty well. The reason why I went with the 12-foot wide design, again, is because I wanted more space. I wanted it to be high in the center for headroom. I can walk around there no problem, which is why we have the 3-foot sidewalls over here. But I'm about 6 feet tall with boots on. If you can see how much headroom I've got right here, it's pretty good. So I can reach up here as far as I can go, and I can't even reach the top. So there's a good amount of headroom. If you're concerned about being a taller person, not feeling spacious in here, there's a lot of space. And with 30 chickens, just look how active they are. They're moving around, squawking, eating, laying eggs, roosting, pecking at the ground, making a lot of noise. They're happy. They're moving around. This does not happen when you've got a foot of snow on the ground. Not in my experience. When I had them for years and years in their summer location, which is basically from halfway point of March through or up till December. So they're in here for like 3 months, December, January, February for sure. The other 8 or 9 months when they're outside next to our garden, getting fresh air and the sunshine, they hated it for the winter. It wasn't fun to take care of them because their water always froze up. Their water here doesn't freeze up even on the coldest days. I only have to fill up their water once in the morning, That's it. Then I do the same thing the next morning. Their eggs don't crack and freeze in here. It's much warmer, especially if you get a good layer of snow, it's gonna insulate. And then if it's sunny, I knock the snow off and let that sunlight come through and really heat up this greenhouse. So it's nice. I don't have to worry about things freezing and creating issue like I used to, and having chickens outside in the snow just being crabby and not happy and not giving us any eggs for the winter. So that was a big reason for building this to begin with. Not to mention, it makes my job so much nicer coming out here, whether it's 10 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock in the morning, knowing that they're protected in here from predators, from the weather, wind, rain, snow, it doesn't matter. They're protected for at least the coldest winter months that we get here in Wisconsin. Right next to this chicken greenhouse coop, I have a huge load of wood chips. That's what I place inside there. We did get snow recently, so I'll brush some of that away. This is covered with plastic, and all I do is I come out here with a pitchfork, fill up a couple of wheelbarrows full, and wheel it right into this chicken coop right here. Open up the door, dump it in, and they'll spread it out themselves. Chickens love piles. They spread it out and they cover that up so we don't have any manure smell in here at all. If you walk in here, it does not stink. Another thing to consider is that you can fit way more chickens in here than I have. I could easily double the amount of chickens in here, add a few more nesting boxes, a food tray, maybe another water dish, and we're set. Now, if you have way less chickens, let's just say you have 10 or a dozen chickens, which a lot of people do, you can build something much smaller than this, which is obviously going to be a lot less work, a lot less time, and it's gonna be much more affordable for you. You don't have to have it 32 feet long. You don't have to have this little chicken office area that I have built right here. You can build it to your needs, to your space where you live. And that's the cool thing about homesteading. It's scalable. I've been saying that since day one. Homesteading is scalable. Build things for your needs, for you and your family, and the livestock and things you have on your homestead. If you would like to see the build of this greenhouse, the general build, I will put the link to the videos down in the description below. If you have not subscribed yet, do me a favor and click the subscribe button down below. It only takes 2 seconds and it helps me, but it also helps you stay up to date with all the things we're doing here at Together We Harvest YouTube channel. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me and my chickens back there. We greatly appreciate it. Hope to see you on the next video.